Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely bizarre and heavily documented case study where a 35-year-old human identity collided head-on with a completely Kafkaesque corporate support system. We're going to unpack exactly why a massive tech platform ended up allegedly insulting an artist named aya.exe and fundamentally demeaning their core identity, all over a single punctuation mark. You know, as digital creators, we put so much of our livelihood right into the hands of algorithms. But what actually happens when an artist's very name breaks the back end of a mega platform like YouTube? Well, as we'll see, instead of getting simple tech support, this creator was met with a profound lack of respect and some seriously creepy automated dehumanization. The stakes here aren't just technical. They're decades in the making. The name aya.exe actually traces its roots all the way back to the 1990s IT era of floppy disks. The creator's grandfather even warned them back then that adding a dot to a name might cause system bugs one day. But filled with childhood optimism, the creator believed future technology would easily handle it. By 2001, it had evolved into a fully realized artistic identity. Fast forward to 2026, and that childhood optimism absolutely crashed into a rigid YouTube Studio error. According to the source material, the artist broke this whole degrading experience down into three distinct pillars: forced renaming, the McDonald's metaphor, and something they call the ghost loop. Let's dive right into that first pillar. Insult 1, identity and forced renaming. So, picture this. It's March 2026. The artist is just trying to set up an official artist channel. It should be easy, right? However, YouTube Studio's system repeatedly rejected the dot in aya.exe. It was literally just a rigid validation bug in the platform's own input field, throwing up a glaring red error message every single time the artist tried to save their legal, established name. Now, you'd think they'd just escalate and fix the bug, right? Well, get this. In July, a support rep named Kim finally responds. And instead of sending this clear software bug to an engineering team, Kim suggested the artist simply try again with a different name. Let that sink in. A global tech giant effectively demanded a human being erase 35 years of personal history just because their system couldn't process a single doc. That brings us to the second major issue: insult 2, reputation, and the McDonald's metaphor. So, after protesting Kim's ridiculous response, a new rep named Aldrin steps in, and Aldrin's brilliant solution: instruct the artist to have their external music distributor fix the internal Google error. Support essentially said, yeah, we can't help you, go ask your distributor to fix our code. The artist actually framed this absurdity perfectly using a metaphor. Imagine you're a hungry customer and you're told you can't order food because the McDonald's cash register is broken. But instead of McDonald's fixing it, they tell you to go complain to the potato farmer to fix the register. The potato farmer, which is the music distributor in this scenario, has absolutely zero admin access to YouTube's backend. It's completely nonsensical. Look, this wasn't just unhelpful, it was deeply, deeply insulting. Following this advice would make the artist look like a totally irrational complainer to their distributor. The platform was unfairly shifting the blame and actively risking severe damage to the artist's professional social credit and reputation. And this is where things get really eerie. Insult 3, dehumanization, and the ghost loop. So, understandably frustrated, the artist shoots back a perfectly logical email in English. They explicitly spelled out that McDonald's analogy to prove the absolute technical impossibility of the support team's request. They expected, a logical human response in the same language. But instead of a logical human reply, the platform fires back with templated, overly polite Japanese responses that completely ignored the English argument. It was exactly like talking to a hallucinating AI. By hiding behind these mismatched language templates, the system totally shut down real dialogue, treating a logical human plea like irrelevant noise. Which brings us to the absolute smoking gun of this whole ordeal: an email that introduces itself by stating Aldrin is taking over for Theo, but then bizarrely signs off as Theo at the very bottom. The creator beautifully defined this phenomenon as a system fusion bug. It's that creepy, uncanny valley feeling. It highlights the total absurdity of a supposedly human support rep failing to even proofread their own copy-pasted signature. For the artist, this was proof that there was no human intelligence on the other end. Just a broken algorithm posing as a human, mindlessly mashing response buttons without reading a single word of the complaint. Let's wrap things up by looking at our final section: the analytics reality versus the closed empire. To really put this whole localized glitch into perspective, the artist's flagship track, Sugar Sin, had over 7,127 plays on Spotify globally at the exact time of this incident. And guess what? Not a single system issue anywhere. Because here's the reality. Global listeners and other massive platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, they easily recognize, index, and celebrate the dot in aya.exe. Only this closed algorithmic empire treats it as a fatal error. The problem isn't a 35-year-old name. The problem is a totally opaque system that would rather demean a creator's identity than just fix its own code. So, I want to leave you with this to ponder. As digital creators, we rely heavily on these automated systems. But when a mega platform effectively demands you erase your very identity rather than fix their own glitch, it raises a vital question. Are these tools actually serving us, or are we just being forced to serve a broken algorithm? Keep asking those big questions, and thanks for joining me for this explainer.
YouTube が侮辱してくる YouTube is insulting me 本当のからのセプレでPartner support says to change my brand name to some ugly name they recommend ドットが使えぬシステムなのにダサい名前にしろというポリシー El punto para el canal es prisión YouTube が侮辱してくる Where is the reason ダサい名前にしろと My generation 名前を変えろと迫る権利があるの Who has the right to change my name YouTube が侮辱してくる根拠でレジュソレスクルYouTube が侮辱してくる They won't support it, they just force the change 逃げてこいね押し付ける They just neglect, no hey lose YouTube が侮辱してくる Change my identity, that's what you tell ふざけたルール壊してしまえ Break it down, el sistema cae You force a change, it's a lie YouTube が侮辱してくる Mismo artista diferente final ドットのせいでつなげない権利 You build the topic But oh I see you deny YouTube が侮辱してくる They won't support it, they just force a change 逃げてこいね押し付ける They just neglect, no aimless YouTube が侮辱してくる You can't erase my brain, that's what I tell ふざけたルール壊してしまえ Break it down, システム変え YouTube が